that all mums come and say, my shoulders are tight, my upper back's really sore, my neck's really sore, tension, headaches, all that stuff. Like everything with babies, it's forward, it's prams, it's slings, it's buggies, it's rocking, it's breastfeeding, bottle feeding, doesn't matter what it is. And it's that combo of this that's already happened because your boobs have got bigger and your belly's got bigger in pregnancy, so you're already moving pulled forwards. And now you're in those forward positions, and also you've lost that core strength and that back strength. So what you really want to do is a combination of stretching the tension out and then building some strength back in. Okay. The other thing is, if you are someone who's breastfeeding, doing all these stretching poses is really good for milk supply, really good at preventing blocked ducts, really good at preventing things like mastitis, because you're bringing lymphatic drainage around the breasts and circulation around the breasts. So it's moving stuff in, moving stuff out. Okay. So kind of important to do every day. And I think really the two tools that you should have is a yoga strap and a yoga brick. These guys are like €12. You can get foam ones, but a cork one has the weight, and you want the weight to be able to build that strength back in.
Felt that weight. It's not the same as mine.
It's not the same. And I do, you can do the same exercise, but when you're working on the rhomboids, which are the teeny muscles between the shoulder blades, they're our stabilizers, and they're the ones that do this with our shoulders, rather than the trapezius, which brings us here. And we're trying to get out of trapezius and back into these. You need strength. And in order to do that strength, you need a teeny weight. It's not like so heavy, but it's more heavy. So you can get them from yogamatters.ie, or you can get them, sometimes you can get them in like Aldi or Tiger.
And I've seen them in
TK Maxx. So if you ever see them, buy them. But they are only €12 anyway, so it's not like a huge investment. So always start with a stretch rather than the strength. And I'm going to show you, and then you can do it. Okay. If you lay it roughly across your knees at the width that your knees are sitting, and then have the knuckles facing up, you're going to pull apart on that strap as if it was going to snap in the middle. And as you're doing that, you're feeding the shoulder blades back, but you're pulling the rib cage in. So we haven't let the ribs fall out to the front. Okay. And then from there, pulling apart, you're going to inhale up, and you're going to take it back just to where you feel a stretch. And all you're going to do is sit in that stretch to begin with. Okay, so you can try. There we go. So as wide as your knees, knuckles up, sit up nice and tall, and then pull apart on that strap. Feed the shoulder blades down and in, and then pull that rib cage in. Perfect. And now inhale up, and just take it back to where that stretch is. There. And then you just breathe right up into the chest and out into the armpits. And you keep that little bit of tension, so you're feeding the shoulders down, but you can feel sometimes you get tingling through the fingers, through up here, and that's blood flow going where it hasn't been going. So it's just a good indicator that you're like, oh, that's where...
Feeling a bit lightheaded.
Yeah, you're like, it's coming to my brain. That's amazing.
It goes to my baby brain.
I'm going to cure all the problems in one simple move. So once you're up there and you've done maybe 3 or 4 breaths, you can then stay in that position, pull the ribcage back in again, push down into the bum bones, and then just take it gently to one side, and you look up at that top arm. Yeah, and then drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. And then take a big inhale, bring it back to the center, drop the shoulders, and then go to the other side. Nice. And just a big full inhale, and exhale. And then inhale up to the center and release. So one more of these, because you don't want to add like a million, is a little flossing one, which is really good. And I'll show from and behind. So you're going to bring an arm up at the top and let it drop down and just grab the strap. The other one's going to reach up. And then from here, you're going to bring it down so the bottom arm is straighter, and up so the top arm is straighter. And they're not going to come to full straight, depending on how tight you are. But you're almost like you're rubbing a towel down your back to kind of dry yourself. It doesn't matter which side you start on. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay. And then while you're doing that, see if you can just pull the rib cage in a little bit. Yeah.
I have a tendency to do that, isn't it?
And then also the sides of the neck and the low jaw you want to keep nice and soft and release. Yeah. Okay. And then you can just switch sides. And so these are like simple things. You can do it any time. Like you could be doing this standing or kneeling or sitting or watching TV. Like it doesn't matter. If the kettle's boiling, you take a few seconds to do that. And they don't have to be in a big sequence. It can just be that 1 minute for doing that a day.
The tea towel when you're making dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seeing all the moms now, right?
I know. We should do like a flash dance. Yeah. Flash mob, whatever that is.
Oh yeah, that's quite nice,
isn't it? You can really feel that. So those are 2 little stretches, and then if we get these brick thingies, if you take the brick in,
you try to talk to me. Can I do this? Can I?
So, brick in your hands, fingers are free of the brick.
Okay.
Palms are on the brick. And just to show the height, that's perfect. And then inhale up. And exhale down. I'm going to do 4 more. So inhale up. Exhale. Yeah. You keep going. And so right in there.
It's like, yeah, no, I don't go that way at the moment.
2 more. 1 last one. Nice. And then this time come up to straight over your head.
Sorry. I'm back. Great.
Straight up overhead. As straight as you can. And then pull the inner elbows towards each other. But try and keep them as straight as you can. And then squish on that. Now ribcage in.
I find it very hard.
It is really hard, but I have rugby men.
It looks like so
It looks
simple.
like you're doing nothing.
I actually feel really embarrassed for myself right now. But
I literally have grown men who are rugby players crying doing this. It's that hard. But that's because our whole life we've used that trapezius muscle, which is our big one, to do everything. And we never use those teeny rhomboid ones. So once we come to use them, our body's like, no, what's this thing? No, I don't want to. But the cool thing about it is, it's one of the ones that you see results really quick. So if you do it like every day for a few days, you suddenly go, oh, actually, I start to build some strength, which is nice. Okay. It's not one that you have to do for like months.
Because I could see me running a mile from that one. Yeah, like, I hate that. I'm not doing it. I'll do loads of the other one that I like, but I won't do any of that.
No, but that's the one. The ones that you hate are the ones you have to do.
I know.
It's so hard.
And knowing that you get results quickly would definitely help me just go, okay, just even try to do a couple.
And if you didn't have that at home, you could just use a heavy cookbook.
Don't tell me to use the baby, because
no,
it's not going to happen.
No, and then I'll be arrested. So that's definitely. You become a little yogi? We're going to do some yoga now. We do some poses for you. So you can sit her into your lap and you can be kind of cross-legged. And then we'll start with one that's really good for shoulders and chest.
Oh, okay. All right. Now you just relax.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the hands wide and we're going to say I. And I'm going to cross them in a little tiny forward bend and say love. And a little wide when we say you. And then we do a clap. Yay!
Good job, Papa.
So we do it 2 more times, okay?
Yeah.
Arms wide. I. Little forward bend.
Love.
You. And go back. Yay! 1 more time. I love you. And a little back. Yay! Good job. So this is good for stimulating the nerve endings of the feet. So ideally barefoot is best. And you're just going to rub the little feet together. You do. Yeah. We're going to go kissy feet, kissy feet, kissy feet, and then clap them. And again, kissy feet, kissy feet. And last time, kissy feet, kissy feet. And then you can bend and get the feet a little bit. Little digestive one. So this is just like a little massage move.
Oh, so many people asking me about digestive stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's just,
it's a huge thing, isn't it?
I think when they're born, we're not aware that actually there is an adjustment period for their digestive system. Absolutely. So everybody kind of gets a bit like, what's going on? What's happening here? But yeah, I think any tips that are.
What I usually suggest is if you get a little sequence together of moves that they like, that are good for the digestive system, and then every time you change their nappy, you just do those 3 moves. Okay. It means that throughout the day you're constantly bringing it in, and you're not doing like a big sequence of stuff that's trying for you or them. It's just like 2 seconds here and there, and then that's just constantly priming that digestive system and massaging out any tension and bringing down inflammation, any trapped winds, just kind of getting it out.
Because they just can't move the same way as we can, so they're like.
Yeah, they're just lying there going, it's already sore. Like a little beetle. So for this one, if you bring your hands above her face and you just rub, so that's giving her a signal that the next thing that's going to happen is a rubbing thing. Yeah. It's also some nice stimulation, but it's also warming your hands. And then it's clockwise direction circles on the belly, and you can be quite firm with it. It's not like a feathery light touch. So it's always clockwise for digesting stuff. I'm going to place the hands on the belly, and we're going to say, round and round the garden.
Oh, let me take that off you. Let me take that off you. Okay.
Round and round the garden. like a teddy bear. And then with the fingers up the middle, one step, two step on the armpits, tickly, and then give her a little kiss like that.
Well, I'm gonna have to kind of really come forward. Mommy's got to work on his flexibility, huh?
So that's a digestive one. Maybe we'll do 2 more digestive ones then.
Yeah,
if you grab the backs of the knees, thumb on the top, fingers underneath, and you're just going to take the knees into the chest, over to the side, back towards you and around, and then you can kind of bring your body into those little circles.
Oh yeah, I love that in the lower back as well. I mean, so it feels good for me. It's gotta feel good for her, isn't it?
And it's nice when you can get stuff in for you at the same time as in for them. So always go in that clockwise direction. And then gently come back. So it's kind of less of more with little ones. It's just a couple.
Do you recommend doing it on the floor, or
you can do it on a bed or anywhere? Yeah. You don't have to have a special place. On the changing mat's grand. And then if you come back, we'll do the Grand Old Duke of York. So again, thumbs on the tops of the knees, fingers underneath. And we're just going to bring one knee at a time in like they're marching.
Oh, I'm going to say, yeah, this is a good one.
Grand Old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. Legs up.
Was that a bit of harmony? Yeah. Or else it was horrendous. I'm not sure which, sorry. Okay.
So legs up, and we're going to go. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down halfway. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. And a big clap. Yay! Good.
It's great that they don't show dressing.
I know. Like, Mummy, your voice is so
I know, it's so good.
It is. You will always think that forever. You did so good.
You good girl.
You did so good.
You did. Yeah. Yeah, you love them ropes, don't you? You love the ropes.
Okay, so this is just a little demo of how to come to standing in a way that's not going to hurt your low back.
Okay, yeah.
It's a bit of a palaver the first couple of times you do it, but once you've got the steps down, it just becomes second nature. And it's just going to really stop any of that kind of pulling out of the low back from when you're lifting when the core hasn't got strong again. So the front foot comes forwards and your baby's on the floor. Instead of picking them up and bringing them up in one movement, you stay down and bring them to your chest. And once they're there, you push into the front foot to bring them here. Once you've got them secure, you tuck the back foot and push up, but you stay here until you find your balance, and then you very slowly pad that foot into the front. What people tend to do is they come up to here, and all in one movement they come forwards, and it's that movement from back to forwards that's going to hurt the low back. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like how they remember the millions of circles in pregnancy.
Yes.
But it's nice for our back. And when we're in this position, just practicing keeping the shoulders down the spine. And a little bit of awareness on the belly, pulling back in towards the spine to support that low back. Yay! She looks like she's going to fall asleep.
She's like, you're rocking me, Mom.
And then just come back to the center. And now you can spin her round so she faces out and have your hand under her bottom and one on her belly. And little hip circles for her. So you're just holding on to her pelvis and drawing them around. And just nice and slow. Yeah, perfect. And that's really good if they've been in the car seat or in the buggy for a while, because they're low back.
I do this actually with like a little baby massage in the evenings.
Yeah,
just
so nice.
I feel like that area must get really tight for them.
It does, and there's still inflection. You know, they've been in flexion for so long, and so that area's just been really tight. And we're just like gently stretching. And also, of course, those circles are good for like constipation. And so we're going to do another one that's really good for if you have a colicky baby or a refluxy baby. This one puts a little bit of pressure on the digestive system, so it helps to release it. What it does mean is if they are currently colicky or refluxy, they can be not a fan of this one in the beginning. It's the one they need, but you might do it for like a couple of seconds and then slowly build up to it. And also not straight after a feed.
Or you'll be puked on.
Yes. So a hand comes between the legs and onto the belly, and the other one comes over the bottom shoulder, and you interlink the fingers. Once they get older, you can let those hands come out, but when she's smaller, you keep her tucked in and you soften your knees. And then you're just swaying.
It's actually very helpful for me.
It's really nice, isn't it? And shoulders back, rib cage and belly in. Yes, nice. And so obviously I'll demo the older baby. The older baby one, they're away from you, and then that starts to take that twist into your low back, into the sides of your waist, and for them it's more pressure down onto that digestive system.
Like, do you lift the feet or do you just keep the feet?
No, the feet just allow themselves to flop wherever they are. And then slowing it down. Coming all the way back into the centre. Okay. So we're going to do a warrior pose.
Okay.
So let's stand to the front of the mat. And then we'll take our left foot back. And then look at your right foot and just make sure the knee is over that front ankle. So often they wander in or out, and we just want to keep them in the centre point. And then there's a few different positions. You can either have your baby up here, or you can have them sitting down here on your leg. Or if you want to be really, really strong and you're a little bit more in that phase of strengthening your arms, they come out here. So that's dependent on like, how is your energy level that day? How big is your baby at any given moment? So if they're up here, you just support them there. And then you can come up onto your back toes and lower it down. And you just take it real slow and steady. You keep watching that front knee, making sure that it doesn't wobble. So pushing into that front heel. And lower. Up. And lower. And up. And lower. And then release. And so now we're going to turn our toes this way. So actually we can turn you around to face me. And so this is a squat one. So that we start to build that strength in the legs and the bum and the back. This is one that they really like. It's kind of challenging for us. But we're going to turn the toes out.
Okay.
And then send your knees in the direction of the toes, and you can kind of glide down into it and see where feels like a good depth. And I'd say you can probably come a little bit wider than me because you're taller. Yeah, there we go. And then instead of sticking the bum at the back, we tuck the tailbone under and roll the shoulders. And then from here we're going to go bounce, 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 and a little drop. Whee! Bounce, 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 whee! Bounce, 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 whee! Two more. Bounce, 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 whee! She's laughing. Bounce, 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 whee! Last one. Bounce, 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 whee! And then come back up. And then to come out, scissor the feet. Slowly. I'm delighted. Okay, one more, and this one's for back strength. So it's a sideways on one, but we'll just show it from the front so people can kind of see what the baby's doing. So don't worry if your feet come off the mat for now. We're going to walk them nice and wide. You can stay forward just so we're not bashing each other. And this one, the toes stay pointing forwards. So from here, hand underneath the bottom through the legs, and one hand over that inside shoulder and lock again. And then bend your knees and fold forwards from the hips. So you're coming forwards like Prasarita Padottanasana, so you're wide-legged forward fold. And now you can straighten your legs out. So if you want to walk them, I'd say maybe a bit wider for you.
Right, off the mat, sorry.
Yeah. And then once you're there, you can just let her hang down and swing forwards to back.
Yeah, this is a good one.
So it's nice for you. You're pulling your rib cage back in and your belly in and trying to roll your shoulders down a little bit.
Okay.
And then you're using
whoever thinks yoga is not work.
I know. But for them, they get to hang free like they were in the womb. So it's really nice for their arms and legs.
You like that? Oh, you look happy there. Should I keep swinging me, Mom? Okay.
Okay. And then bend your knees.
You have a little bit of tummy time for a second.
Roll up. And then you can just take a big inhale, stretch up.
Oh yeah.
And exhale over to the side.